Hello, this is Palagi. Thank you for tuning into my channel, and today I'm weighing in on the Sog Seal Pup. Okay, now there's different ones. I've come out with new ones since then, the Sog Seal Pup Elite. Obviously, this is just going to be the Seal Pup, and we'll kind of talk a little bit more about the variations as we get into the review. But let's go ahead and get things kicked off with the design here. As you can see, this little knife has a combat look and feel to it. Now, I think it's an excellent looking knife. However, its aesthetics may hold this knife back if used for a woods blade. Now, this review will be based primarily on, how this knife would work in a woods or general utility, since, I have no experience with how, it would fare in a tactical situation. Now, as you can see, it has the clip point here with a decent tip and transitions into a pretty pronounced sweep there. Okay, now the steel is, well, actually, I believe the early Seal Pups were made out of Aus 6. However, this one is made out of Aus 8, which is a mid-grade steel known for taking a keen edge and holding it satisfactorily with some corrosion resistance properties. It seems to be a pretty well-rounded steel, especially for the $50 price point. Now, the coating is kind of this powder coating of sorts. Okay, maybe you can have a look at it there. Now, I think it looks very nice. It seems to hold up, relatively well. Okay. Now, as far as the serrations are concerned, they may look tough and add to the look and feel of a combat knife, but frankly are a hindrance when it comes to working with wood. Okay, now on something like an EDC knife, this isn't that big a deal to me because I tend to use the first inch or so, from the tip for about, roughly 90% of my daily tasks. It's actually the exact opposite when I use a woods blade. Now, right where these serrations are is, the area I use most with these sort of knives. So some positives, though, of the serrations is that they can really dig into the wood and make short work of carving out wood that may be thicker in diameter. Also, if you have to cut through something like garden hosing or something similar, it cuts much better than a plain edge wood. Okay. Now, I was talking earlier about it really biting into the wood. The one thing I noticed, though, see, if you're right-handed, the serrations, it's kind of like the serrations, the serrated end is like down. If you're left-handed, it would bite into the wood a little better. Okay, so that's just some food for thought there. Now, let's talk about the handle material a little bit. This is glass-filled nylon. Okay, it's kind of hard to describe. As you can hear, that kind of makes a clinking sound when struck. Okay, if that's any help. It's just kind of hard to describe. Actually on second thought, that might be the sound of the steel. But anyway, the texturing is positive, and it just aids in a good grip without being obnoxious. It feels nice enough in hand, but not ideal for sustained long-term use. Okay, so you can see the texturing and the way that works. It's actually, like I say, the grip is actually pretty good and relatively comfortable. But anyway, that's that. Let's talk about the sheath options really quick. Now, there are a couple of them. Now, firstly, there is the nylon sheath with the plastic insert, and it happens to be MOLLE compatible. Now, normally, I'm not a huge fan of nylon sheaths. However, I'll say that this one is done very well. This one is actually attached to my bag right now, so it might be kind of tough to see, but I'm going to have you just take a quick look at it here. Let me back this out. Okay, so this is it right there. You can see I have it, kind of fished through the MOLLE webbing there. The retention, as you can see, is the snap. It also has some Velcro, okay? So kind of secondary retention there. They have this little pocket here, which the Sog Trident is in at this point right now. But, all in all, for a nylon sheath, I would say it's actually pretty well done, okay? They also have a Kydex offering that has a notch cut out of a section of it to allow access to the blade if you needed to cut some 550 or something like that. But anyway, the primary purpose of this blade, as I see it anyway, is going to be general utility, okay? just anything that, you know, you could really use a knife for. Now, it's smaller, lightweight, it's, you know, very strong for its size, with the steel that's suitable for a wide selection of general tasks. Now, this is just one of those knives that's kind of the jack of all trades and would work really well as a knife, you know, used around like a farm or ranch or, you know, even the house. Now, I also think it would be a solid option for those in the service looking for a deployment knife, as general utility seems to be a big part of, you know, what a knife gets used for in this application. Now, the shape, style, and design is just kind of icing on the cake and would, you know, no doubt, you know, work, you know, pretty well if, you know, forced into a defensive application. Honestly, it's an instant classic and a solid knife choice for those looking to step up from, you know, the blades one might find in the camping section of Walmart. Now, although I'll admit that it wouldn't be my first choice for a backcountry knife, it can handle pretty much anything you ask of it. So some notable pros of this knife would be its durability. This thing can take a beating, and, you know, it can be very important for those who take their tools seriously. A solid steel choice for this price. As I mentioned, it's a mid-grade steel, but I honestly think that AUS 8 is one of the more underrated steels out there. I've been very pleased with its performance throughout the various knives that I've tested with it. Now, it holds an edge better than one would expect for, you know, for a steel in this price point. It's easy to work with. You know, it's easy to resharpen, takes an edge almost as keen as like a 1095 with some corrosion resistance. So, you know, all in all, like I was saying, I think it's a very solid choice. And just give you some close-ups of it, okay? Great looking knife, like I said, solid option. But anyway, that is the review of the Sog Seal Pup. You guys, thank you so much for tuning into my channel. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to leave your mark in the comment section. Until next time, this is Palagi, signing off.